I guess that could lead us into our first topic of the Joe Budden situation, talking about the business. So do you want to, Friday, give a little bit of context on the Joe Budden and what's her name?
Well, salute to the Joe Budden Network. They been having some issues lately. You know, it's been all over the news. Rory and Mal, his co-host, left him, and that was the big controversy at first. But then it started to pile on because Olivia Dope, or DJ Olivia Dope, who was one of the co-hosts on his one of the shows on his network, See the Thing Is, she left a few months ago, around episode 16. She then came out with a video last Monday telling the reasons why she left. And I'll play you a quick little thing of why she left. I have it on my Instagram here. Let me just pull it up quick fast.
But in the meantime, basically she was being sexualized, and it was inappropriate from Joe.
Yeah, she was calling for sexual harassment, basically. You know what I'm saying? She's like, on an episode of the podcast, Joe was speaking with her very inappropriately.
Repeatedly.
And there was parts that were cut out, and then there was parts that were left in still, and just didn't look too good.
So in that type of environment, you have somebody who's trying to work and keep a business, and yet somebody in a more dominant position, authoritative position, is, you know, kind of in control of your job and your position, and you're kind of being tested on how flexible should you be, or how sexual are you being seen as if you're trying to just
delete the parts he made where he made passes at me. He said he didn't care. As long as I'm fine with it, then
so
the entire.
This is in the part where she's like explaining how behind the scenes they had a conversation, and he was like, you know, you okay? Everything cool? And she was like, yeah. If there's anything you want me to delete, yeah, I'll delete that. And then they went back on the set, and then the shit continued.
Feeling pressured, I say I'm fine. A few minutes later, I was called back into the studio to see if I wanted to hear the unedited version again and decide if I really want to keep it in there.
I'm gonna throw some sound effects on there too. Actually, I don't have to.
And in my ears, it sounded like everyone was laughing. So who am I to say this needs to be taken out? I don't have much say in the situation. I've already been belittled in this situation by being sexually harassed and objectified.
Mm-hmm.
That's what women have to go through in the industry.
So
that's
Joe,
the reality.
He issued an apology via Rolling Stone, saying that, you know, he fucked up, him and the network fucked up. They understand the
only because he got caught. Because even if you're looking at the behind the scenes editing, that is when you and your co-host or production team negotiate what is acceptable to put out and representative of this. We all do it. Yeah. So if you're even past that stage and then it's actually going out past that, meaning that you wanted to make a statement. And now because that statement that you were so arrogant to want to put out there is being perceived in a very negative light, now it's like, shit. And this is what everybody does. All of these people have to apologize. And I mean, it's not genuine. It's because it's the right thing to do.
And the episode's also been removed, by the way.
And you have to wonder, would he have removed it or said sorry if Rory, Rory wasn't, like, Rory and Mal weren't leaving? Probably not.
So what are y'all thoughts on this? Y'all, okay, because, like, for example, even with here, we're, you know, I'm running a network with multiple podcasts. You know, we have the Link6 podcast, a woman-run podcast. Y'all are women with podcasting. Do y'all have to deal with that type of where you're under an umbrella of a man and
this is a biased response. I can't do this.
Well, I'm saying,
you can't ask me.
You know, well, fuck, we can be transparent.
No, keep it real, girl. Keep it real. I'll keep it true.
If I'm on some Joe Budden shit, let me know right now.
We can conceptualize, but it's always going to be that case whenever you have a man-run industry, which is entertainment in its whole. Women can be seen as, you know, it's a woman's world as much as we want to say it. But at the same time, when it comes to power struggles, we will always be looked at as over-sexual beings. We will always be objectified. And that's the sad reality.
And it's almost like a subconscious thought, I would think. So say, for example, whenever I'm interviewing men, I'm thinking at the back of my mind, oh gosh, is he gonna DM me? Is he gonna try to check me out?
Is he gonna want more now?
Thankfully, so far they haven't. Honestly, yes.
Yeah,
because when you have a really good conversation with a man, you don't know what he's thinking. You don't know if he wants to take it to the next level. You don't know if he thinks you're flirting with him. So when you hold that professionalism and everything is finished, you're just saying to yourself, God, is he gonna say something in the DMs? Does he think I'm checking it out? Does he think I'm flirting? Thankfully, so far, it has not been that way. Thankfully, the man has been very professional. I'm actually very impressed. Like sometimes when I'm finished with the interview, I'm like, wow, like he didn't even try anything. Thank God, like
it's a woman thing, and we do have the right to feel that way because it's from experience.
Yes,
right. It's different if we were like not getting certain things. And again, I put myself out there a certain way, so I'm used to certain things. But again, I'm a human being. There's levels to this shit. You can't just come at me and grab my ass because you might see me shake my ass. You can't do that, right? So again, like. Being promiscuous is a narrative because everybody's going to look at people in different ways. You can think we're attractive. There's somebody else who's going to think we're fucking ugly or whatever the case is, or we're not their type. The point is when you're dealing in a professional setting, there is levels to it and there's professional etiquette. So for Joe Budden to have his network, he's not on somebody's network, it's his network. There's also a level of control with that.
He's the boss.
Well, again, so anybody who's in a boss position or has a business or is in ownership of something that relies or requires people to be under them or to respond or communicate to them, it's a power struggle, period. And especially if it's a dynamic where, again, you're perceived as a woman who's beautiful or whatever or attractive, you're going to just know, okay, like something could happen. That's how much it's been embedded in our minds that there's always a possibility.
So let me ask y'all, do you think, like, have y'all been in that situation where, like, you're afraid to say something because you don't want to fuck up the mood? Because that's what her whole thing was. She didn't want to, like, dampen the mood and, like, check him because she didn't want to fuck up, like, her co-hosts who were other women in the room, right? Because that's the thing. There's other women who were, like, cool with it. And then after, she was like, no, I'm not cool with this.
Episode 16, though.
Has it happened to you?
That has never happened to me before.
I'm biased.
It happened to me at like a previous job, not with podcasting, like a job where my boss was a male and I just had to.
Never.
But I left.
Never. Unless I'm naive, but never. I'm just so friendly and bubbly and I have such
you're
a big
tomboy.
And I'm a tomboy too.
All our mutual friends say that.
Yeah.
Like
so,
you but to who you know, it's about also environments where you're new to. So it could be a social setting. Like this could have been any other room. And, you know, sometimes you go out to different places and it's called the gaze, the male gaze, right? It's a psychological term as well. And it's how a man perceives women or us at any given time. So it will impact us depending on if we feel the gaze is on us. If it's not on us, then we're not going to be impacted. But once you start to identify or feel that testosterone that's coming through the air, you're going to feel a certain way and you're going to be able to look at somebody and know that somebody could be looking at you in an attractive way.
Or I feel like you don't notice it. Because even sometimes I'm telling Big Niche, like,
yo, he's looking at you.
And she's like, no,
stop.
So I'm telling her the gaze is on you.
Or maybe I don't want to accept it.
That's it.
Or maybe you're looking past it because you're not looking at them.
And I like to control my environment too. It's bad. Yeah. So when I have guys around, I have so many. Oh God, this is so bad. I have so many male friends. I grew up that way. I have like guys around me all the time. So even when it's so friendly and it's so innocent to me,
because you're strong. Would say,
not only that, even if like, for example, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but say, for example, I'm in the room with a lot of guys and say that one guy's interested in me, I'm not going to notice right away because I'm just so used to giving that friend zone vibe. So even if a friend tap me and say, hey, he's interested, I'm like, no.
The tolerance is built up.
Puts everybody on the automatic.
Literally.
She does.
And if I like you, I like you. It's almost like I'm saying, hey, I like you. Let's get it on.
He's aggressive when it comes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aggressive, but
you have to let them know, like,
destiny.
You have to let them know, like, okay, now you're coming out of the friend zone.
Yeah, now I like you. Let's go. Yeah. Like, but then again, I if I like a guy, I don't put you in the friend zone. I know right away if I like a guy, like right off the back. But majority of the time, if I'm around guys, you're in the friend zones automatically. Even when my friends are like, hey, this guy likes you, I'm like, no, do you like me? I mean, if you put me in the situation, no, you don't like me. Like, that's how I am. So
one more thing on this Joe thing. Do you think, like, because people were saying in the comments, why the fuck she wait so long? Why the fuck she wait so long? What are y'all views on that? Because I know there's reasons why women wait sometimes before saying these things, right? Like, it's not so comfortable, like, in the moment and stuff. So what do y'all think?
Trying to be professional is a big thing for women that are very strong and mature. When you know that you have such a high energy of being maybe perceived as sexual or whatever, like, we all know our strengths as women, and I know that I can speak for them as well. Like, you know what you have going on for you. Absolutely. And you can control it. So there's a difference when you're a vulnerable or a weak-minded woman and you're going into a situation and you're not aware of the presence you have. But when you do know it, when we're trying to be professional, we don't need to be seductive without like it happening indirectly. The seduction is there, depending on who's looking for it. Right? Depending on how we carry ourselves. And we're confident women. So that's going to come off anyways. So the idea is that we're not trying to be in that mindset when we're trying to have a game on and be professional and conduct business. There's a time and place for everything. There's some women who will walk into a situation and want to be the talk of the town and flirt and be loose and whatever. That's fine. But for us, we want to know when we're in a situation of business, we're being business, regardless of how we look or how we're...
Do you think men view it that way as well?
No.
So, say for example, you're in a room, you're the only female in that room, and it's a professional environment. Do you think majority of the men in the room is going to sexualize you? Just put you in a box and be like, no, she's not professional. She's a lady. I give
men respect too, but like,
what do you mean?
You could feel the energy when it's being given. Like, it's just like a magnet. If a magnet connects, just like attraction, you're not going to look at every guy around you and say, I'm attracted to him. But if you do feel that, okay, this guy can go on or, you know, whatever, then that you've identified that. So
I think, sorry to cut you off, I think males in general, like, they view, if they say it's a male-dominated industry, they're going to see the woman as inferior. They're going to feel like they can get away with talking to her anyway. Like in this scenario, she probably took so long to say anything because she doesn't want to get blacklisted from the industry. She doesn't want, like, because, you know, it's sad to say, but when a woman does come out and says something like this, a lot of times people don't want to work with her in the future because, oh, she's going to tell. Oh, she's going to take it seriously. Oh, I can't joke around with her. So that's probably why she didn't want to come out, because she doesn't want to, like, cut her.
Or be that girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.